Aaron Rodgers right now is the best quarterback in the NFL. He's been the best quarterback in the NFL for the last 7 years. He's been behind one of the worst defensive teams in the NFL for the last 6 or 7 years. And finally, he has a defensive team that can get at you, get at the quarterback. And his secondary has gotten better the last couple of years. It really has. Alexander looks like a player. His secondary is really starting to fill in. But what we've seen with Aaron Rodgers, his offensive game, especially in the playoffs, listen to these numbers. It's unbelievable. His playoff completion percentage is fantastic. He has a 64.3 completion percentage in the playoffs, 42 touchdowns to only 12 interceptions, over 5,000 yards in 20 games in the playoffs. This is a guy that has been consistent. Every time he gets into the playoffs, he is throwing usually 300 or more yards. He is absolutely one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen in the playoffs. Yes, he only has one Super Bowl. But when you're going in and year out into the playoffs with arguably one of the worst defenses in the league, if you look at the ranking of his defense, besides the last 2 years, they're amongst the league's worst, in the top last echelon in the league. You're talking about 29th, 30th, 31st in the league in defense, all around defense in the last 5-6 years. So what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now, he's got a good offensive team. He's got players that play around him. And by the way, who could you name a quarterback that makes all the players around him better? I mean, seriously, look at the players he's throwing. Besides Devontae Adams, is there any one receiver or tight end that could play on another team that's not a third or fourth type of player, type of wide receiver or tight end in the league? I mean, seriously, they might not have even made the teams on the Jets or the Giants, and they're bad. So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a fantastic quarterback. What he did against Aaron Donald and that defense, he had Aaron Donald crying at the end of the game. How many people can make Aaron Donald cry? Well, Aaron Rodgers. That's who made Aaron Donald cry. He was fantastic. The way he threw the ball. I mean, how many players could you say can go into a game and absolutely dominate the way he did? And some of the players, they didn't really have a very good game. I mean, their running game, they couldn't really run the ball in certain aspects of the game. It was really Aaron Rodgers and their high-flying offense throwing the ball down the field and really just completely outplaying the opposition. One of the best defenses, if not the number one defense in professional football. So, Josh, what do you say about Aaron Rodgers and what he has done so far in the playoffs?
Oh, I think he's going to go down as the greatest quarterback. I don't think he's going to be one of the greatest. I think he's going to go down as the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. And I don't care. You could stamp my name next to that statement. I don't care. He's the only quarterback that I think I've ever watched in all my years of watching football where when he throws the football, he knows where that football is going. And it's incredible to see with Alan Lazard and Marquez Valdes-Scantling and these guys, and they're fitting the system, and it's really good. But they're running backs, too, with Williams and Jones and Cannon and these guys. I mean, these are really good running backs that he has, too, finally. They don't have Bakhtiari, but their offensive line has stayed status quo. Cody Lindsey has done a great job. And then we talk about defense with with Dom Capers for years was just not a great defensive coordinator. Lost the locker room, I think. They got Mike Pettin in here, changed the whole way the defense has turned it around. We got to look out for next year on defense that I could see them being interested in too. Watch out for J.J. Watt from Wisconsin. If J.J. Watt goes to the Green Bay Packers with Darius Smith and Kenny Clark, that defense is going to be nasty. It is. So the Green Bay Packers are going to be good for a long time.
And to me, the LA Rams, they had a very good season. Aaron Donald is one of the best defenders.
They lost to the Jets at home. Are you kidding me?
They still had a great season. Defensively, this was the number one all-around defense in all of professional football. They hit a rocky top-end Green Bay Packer team with arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So you can't take shots at the LA Rams. They had a fantastic season with Jared Goff getting hurt, coming back. I got to give Jared Goff a lot of credit. Having the thumb surgery 2 weeks before that and then coming back and playing the games, it shows you his toughness. But the Ravens, I don't know what's going on with the Ravens, but I think this is the end of Lamar Jackson as far as his playoff run. As good as he has been the last couple of years, the last 3 years, this guy cannot win a big game. He cannot win a big game. He played arguably one of the most talented young quarterbacks in the league in Josh Allen. And to me, Josh Allen completely washed him away and outplayed him on the field. The Ravens, who arguably is one of the most talented teams in all of football, finally became healthy going into the playoffs. I thought they were absolutely going to win this game. You didn't. You thought the Bills were going to win. That's why you're in the lead with me. I don't know. I can't really argue the point, but there's going to be a lot of decisions that the Ravens are going to have to make in the offseason. There's a lot of free agents. Judon is going to be available, a.k.a. the New York Jets should be looking at him. They need a pass rusher. I mean, the Bills didn't play one of their best games, but they just did enough. And Josh Allen looks like the star quarterback we believe he is going to be. And Lamar Jackson, I think he's on the tail end on, just like we said this about RG3, I think he's another RG3. He's going to have 3 or 4 good years in the NFL, and then he's going to completely disappear as a backup.
I mean, we'll see. It was unfortunate to get the concussion that he got at the end of that game. Once he threw that interception in the red zone that was taken back for a touchdown, the game was over at that point. Josh Allen really didn't do much. He didn't really play that well, actually. But it was enough to get them to win the football game, right? That's what it is. It's give it, whatever it takes. It's a whole different animal that they're going into with Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be healthy for the game on Sunday. So that's something different. They're going to stick with Lamar Jackson. They will. They're going to, and as they should. I think give it one more time,
Big mistake.
One more year, give it one more year, and see what they got to give him more weapons. They really do. They have no weapons for him on offense. None. They have no receivers for him. Their offensive line completely changed with 2 of their guys going out for the season. It was just, they got to get more weapons for him. They have no wide receivers for him.
You want to say that again? They need more weapons. They need more weapons.
Willie Snead is not a number 2 receiver. That's the facts. He's not. Willie Snead is a 30-something-year-old wide receiver. Marquise Brown is a nice receiver. He's not a number 1 receiver. So we'll see where they go. I think they got to stick to – I think they're going to lose Judon. We'll see. They still have a nice defense. So we'll see where they go from here.
And how about the Browns, man? I would have never thought that the Browns were
– They got very lucky.
Very lucky. I'll tell you this.
Mahomes.
I've been very impressed in this playoff run. Baker Mayfield looked really, really good. You can say whatever you want. Baker Mayfield showed you that he could be a starting quarterback in this league, and you can win with Baker Mayfield.
I still hate Baker.
They stayed in the game with the Kansas City Chiefs, the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care that Mahomes got a concussion. Baker Mayfield played just as good or as maybe even better than Patrick Mahomes did throughout the game, and they had a chance to win. That's all you ask your quarterback to be and do is keep your team in and give your team a chance to win, and that's what Baker Mayfield did. So I was very impressed with the Browns. I'm not so impressed with the Kansas City Chiefs, and going into this big AFC title game, they might have problems with the Bills, being that the Bills are as talented as they are offensively, and they can run the ball. The Bills are not a team that you expect to run the ball. They didn't run the ball really well in the early parts of the season, but they got better at the end of the season, and they've looked better in the playoffs running the ball. They really have. And if they can run the ball against Kansas City, which I believe they can, because I don't believe that the Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to be able to hold up in a long 4-quarter game. I think they're going to give up plays. I think they're going to make mistakes. And if Mahomes doesn't play this game, you better watch out.
Well, he's been cleared to play. He is going to play. They cleared him, other protocol stuff, so he will be in the game Sunday. I'm not worried at all about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm more worried about how Josh Allen is going to play because he didn't look great against the Baltimore defense. So that was a little scary. And he's on the road this time. This will be his first road playoff game. He has not fared well when he's on the road in the playoffs, Allen. We saw it against Houston last year. We saw, you know what I mean? He has – it's a different animal going to Kansas City, and they're still going to have fans in the stands there. Mahomes is back. That team is going to be fired up. They're going to be energized. I want to see how this Buffalo defense goes against this talented, high-powered Chiefs offense, and we'll see if Sammy Watkins is in. We'll see if everybody is going to play. Le'Veon Bell has done absolutely nothing with the Chiefs, so clearly he's been a non-factor. So I guess the Jets were right running him.
Told ya.
Yeah,
so
he's
Jets fans.
Yep. So he was what he was. We'll see. So I mean, look, I still have confidence in Patrick Mahomes. I really want that. I want that dream Super Bowl. I want Mahomes and Rodgers so badly in the Super Bowl.
And I don't want to hear about the Tampa Bay fans thinking that Tampa and Mr. Tom Brady won that game. Tom Brady did not.
No, he did. No, the defense did. Devin Smith did.
18 for 35. I think he was throwing the ball. He was terrible. He had I think he had 190 yards, 199 yards throwing. He did not have a good game. He had 2 touchdowns, and practically the 2 touchdowns that he had against that Saints team was an interception on the 10 or 11-yard line, and then the drop by Cook. That was the 2 touchdowns with the mistakes that the Saints made. The Saints made a lot of mistakes, and Drew Brees is not Drew Brees anymore. He's a washed-up quarterback. And I'm not taking shots at Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played. Top 6, top 5, wherever you want to put him, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. But Drew Brees hasn't been Drew Brees all season long. He hasn't been Drew Brees for the last 2 years, and it shows. I think he's going to retire. I think the Saints are going to be looking for a new quarterback. They should have played. They had a better chance of winning with Jameis Winston than Drew Brees in that game.
If Jameis Winston would have played that game, they would have won the game. I would go on. They would have won the game. They definitely would have won that game. And to me, I think the biggest thing for the Buccaneers this weekend is they're getting Vita Vea back on the defensive line. But the thing is, he hasn't played all season, and he's going into a game where he's going to be in 20-degree weather, and that's a very good offensive line in Green Bay. I agree with you. I don't think Tom Brady really did anything spectacular. I don't think he really is. They're lucky they got by in this game because Drew Brees threw 3 interceptions or whatever it was. Devin Smith was awesome. You're going up against a washed-up Drew Brees and an unhappy Michael Thomas to Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. And go ask Jalen Ramsey if Davante Adams could be the number 1 corner. The answer is yes, he can. Okay? He can't beat Jalen Ramsey. So if he could beat Jalen Ramsey, and I gotta tell you this: the Rams, they have much better DBs than the Buccaneers do. This is I have no confidence in Tampa this game.
If JPP likes to trip people like he tried to trip people last week, he better try to trip Davante Adams and try to hurt him.
I mean, they're not going to be able to keep up with Tampa.
You have all these guys like Ndamukong Suh who has stepped on Aaron Rodgers' chest before when he played for.
Yeah, he's got. I don't know what his issue is with Aaron Rodgers, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he's got to go up against one of the best centers in football this weekend. This is a different animal. This Saints team, they didn't even play that great against the Bears. They only won because Mitchell Trubisky was god awful in that game.
There he goes.
That was a reeling.
Mitch.
That was a reeling. Really? You're right. It was a shot to Mitch. And you know what? He deserves a lot more after the way he played in that playoff game. It was disgusting. The only way that game was entertaining was because it was on Nickelodeon. I wish I saw more
SpongeBob.
No, I wish there was more slime cams, but Mitchell Trubisky ruined it for everybody, the bum. And he actually won the Nickelodeon MVP. Even the kids know how to troll, which is awesome. Okay? The point of this is this. You're going from a worn down up and down Saints team to a high-powered motor. You want to talk about all gas, no brake? Go watch the Green Bay Packers play. I don't know how the Buccaneers are going to.
Oh, stop kissing your father's behind, man.
Oh, I'm not. I picked the Packers to win the Super Bowl a month and a half ago. I said,
well, congratulations to you. Congratulations.
Nobody bought it. Everybody said I was crazy.
Well, you are crazy. A little crazy, but a little wet behind the ears in other ways, too.
You think that's fine when they're holding up the Lombardi Trophy in 3 weeks. So that's
all right.